The story of the worst influencer scam I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of them, okay? I'm practically a connoisseur at this point.
FaZe Clan.
FaZe Clan.
Esports phenomenon FaZe Clan debuting on the NASDAQ today via SPAC merger. They gifted this change.
What is FaZe Clan?
Today we're going to take a victory lap through 5 absolutely beautiful moments, if I would say, where CoffeeZilla took these fraudsters by the throat, shoved their face into the concrete and said, look what you did.
A bank promoted by YouTubers that's now become a casino, and users can't get their money out.
This video is sponsored by Yotta Save.
Yotta, Y-O-T-T-A.
Yotta Savings?
The Yotta Savings app, maybe you saw a couple people talk about this.
Hey, my name's Daniel. My wife and our family has 18,000 in Yotta that we can't get out.
Over $60,000 frozen up in Yotta.
$15,440.06 frozen in Yotta.
$7,270.60 frozen.
CryptoZoo.co. I am so excited about this project. It's so fun. It's a really fun game that makes you money.
This whole thing was meant to be a fun, passive income NFT game where you hatch animals, combine them, and make money. Sounds about as legit as a Nigerian Prince email, but hey, Logan Paul and his army of brainwashed fanboys were really hyping this up.
CryptoZoo.co.
We don't scam. I've never scammed anyone before. Logan cares extremely deeply about his audience.
And surprise, surprise, CryptoZoo was about as real as Santa Claus. Investors got absolutely nothing, no working game, no refunds, and Logan just did what he does best, acting like a misunderstood victim while bathing in money. But then enters CoffeeZilla, armed with facts, receipts, and an unshakable urge to make scammers squirm. This man spent weeks digging, interviewing, and piecing together the full scam. He exposed how Logan and his team siphoned money, lied to investors, and essentially ran a slow-motion rug pull while pretending everything was fine. And when CoffeeZilla finally dropped the mother lode of a video series, Logan Paul scrambled harder than an egg on a Sunday morning. At first, Logan went full I'm innocent mode. He made a pathetic response video where he tried to big dog CoffeeZilla, calling him a clout chaser and threatening a lawsuit. But that backfired so hard that Logan had to delete the video, tail between his legs, and instead say, actually, you know what? I love CoffeeZilla. He's doing great work. It was like watching a school bully get humbled in real time. The man went from arrogant to apologetic in record speed. And all it took was one guy with a microphone and a fetish for financial justice. And here's the kicker. After all that, CryptoZoo is still a steaming pile of garbage. Logan never really made things right. And the only reason he didn't get sued into another dimension is that people just gave up trying to get their money back. But the internet never forgets, and CoffeeZilla made sure Logan Paul's reputation took a permanent L. That's just the first one. Of course, we still have 4 more scammers to laugh at, and trust me, it only gets worse. Next up, a guy who tried to play 4D chess with CoffeeZilla and ended up eating glue instead. If Logan Paul's CryptoZoo scam was a masterclass in influencer greed, then Ice Poseidon's crypto heist was straight up cartoon villain levels of shamelessness. This guy didn't just scam people, he basically stood on a podium, told his fans he was about to rob them, did it in broad daylight, and then laughed about it.
Just play the villain and whatever. And that's the best way to do it, because people will be like, oh yeah, like I feel like they kind of can respect that.
For those who don't know, Ice Poseidon was a Twitch streamer turned YouTuber who made a name for himself by being an absolute chaos magnet. His entire brand revolved around doing borderline illegal stuff on stream while his chat egged him on. But apparently making content wasn't bringing in enough money, so he dipped his toes into the lucrative world of lying to your audience for profit. Then came CX Coin, a crypto project he launched, claiming it was a long-term investment that he was totally 100% dedicated to. He told his fans that if they bought in, they'd be supporting the community and the project. Spoiler alert, that was a load of steaming hot horse manure. Within weeks, Ice Poseidon pulled the rug, draining over $500,000 from the liquidity pool and transferring it straight into his personal account. He didn't even bother to pretend it was an accident. That was a complete disaster for him, because CoffeeZilla traced the transactions and found concrete proof that Ice Poseidon had yanked the money and stuffed it into his own pockets, So what did Ice do when he got called out? He admitted it. Straight up, no shame, no remorse, just, yeah, I took all the money. And what are you gonna do about it? The absolute audacity of this man was unreal. CoffeeZilla confronted him in a call asking if he'd return the money to his fans, to which Ice basically responded with, nah, I'd rather buy a Tesla.
You want to keep the money that's not yours, that you took from the project, even though you'd failed to deliver.
I mean, I'm not really sure what you want me to say, but yeah.
I'm trying to like get you to return the money because it's 100% still available and you could do that.
Yeah, I could give the money back. It is within my power. But I'm going to look out for myself and not do that. I don't like know what else to say. That's just the most honest answer.
This dude could have at least tried to gaslight his way out, but instead he just embraced being a villain like he was auditioning for the next Batman movie. And surprise, surprise, he got away with it.
Like, seriously, how long did you work? I'm just curious.
Well, like you said, it was a fork, so I don't know, a couple weeks.
Couple weeks, $300,000. It's a nice chunk of change. I don't know if you're aware of the fact that your average fan has way less money than you. So you're just taking from poor people. Like, you understand that, right?
That is definitely not, that is not a good way to put it. That's a pretty shitty way to put it, my dude.
I think it's a pretty shitty thing to do.
He just kept the money because crypto scams exist in this magical gray area where you can legally rob your own fans. And no one in power will lift a finger. But CoffeeZilla made damn sure that everyone knew Ice Poseidon's name would forever be synonymous with scamming. Sincerely speaking, this takedown was one of the most infuriating, because it showed just how little consequences there are for influencers who pull this crap. But it also proved one thing about CoffeeZilla not just exposing scams, but also making sure these frauds never get to erase their past. Moving on is FaZe Banks and his merry band of FaZe clowns. Apparently they were doing it with a neon sign that said, "We are scamming you." Little did he and them know this whole thing was such a disaster that it made Fire Festival look like a well-organized event. So FaZe Banks, along with other FaZe members like K, Jarvis, Tico, and Nikan, got involved in a crypto project called SaveTheKids. And before you even ask, no, it had nothing to do with saving kids. It was just a convenient name to slap on their pump and dump scheme to make it sound wholesome. They marketed this coin as some kind of charity-based crypto that would help children in need, and gullible fans thinking they were doing something good bought in hard. The FaZe boys made sure to hype it up with big promises, acting like this was their way of giving back to the world, and then boom. The second the coin launched, it got rug pulled faster than a Twitch streamer apologizing after a scandal. Within days, the value plummeted, and all the big names attached to it conveniently cashed out before it hit zero. Enter CoffeeZilla, the one-man SWAT team for financial fraud. He took one look at this mess and went full detective mode, exposing exactly how FaZe K and the others had orchestrated the pump and dump. He showed blockchain evidence of how they bought in early, hyped it up, then dumped their holdings while their fans got left with digital toilet paper. When confronted, FaZe Banks played dumb. He was like, I had no idea this was happening. I got scammed too, guys. Which, let's be honest, is the go-to excuse for every influencer who gets caught with their hand in the cookie jar. It's like robbing a bank and then saying, oh, I didn't know taking money was illegal. FaZe K, on the other hand, was straight up sacrificed to the wolves. He got kicked out of FaZe Clan faster than a hacker in a Fortnite tournament. FaZe Jarvis, Tico, and Nikan got suspended. All of this suspension shit makes no sense because none of them faced any real consequences. They just laid low for a while and popped back up like nothing happened. While making research, I found that the coin was such a dumpster fire that even the scammers got scammed. The people behind SaveTheKids apparently rug pulled their own influencers, meaning FaZe K might have actually lost money in his own scam. That's like setting up a pyramid scheme and accidentally putting yourself at the bottom. But thanks to CoffeeZilla, this whole fiasco is permanently burned into internet history. Every time FaZe tries to act like a respectable organization, people will always remember that time their members tried to help the kids by stealing from their fans. And if you think this was a bad look, just wait till we talk about a guy who somehow made getting scammed himself look even worse.